Welcome to the Emporia Public Schools podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Allison Anderson Harder, Superintendent. This podcast is our way to provide students, staff, parents, and community members easy access to information on a variety of topics. Once you've listened to a podcast, you'll notice a link to an electronic form that I would encourage you to use and provide feedback or ideas about the podcast you have just listened to, or to share ideas for future podcasts. Today we're visiting with Mr. Jared Giffin, Director of Human Resources. Morning, and how are you?
Good morning. I'm great. Glad to be here today.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being here. Getting ready to talk about human resources and hiring.
I can't wait. There's a lot of that going on this time of year.
That's awesome. So to start us off, tell the listeners a little bit about yourself and then your role in the district for Director of Human Resources.
I will. Again, my name is Jared Giffin. I've worked for Emporia Public Schools for, this is my 29th year now. I was a teacher for about 7 years, a principal for 19 years. I worked in our teaching and learning department for a year, and this will be my second year in human resources. So a lot of exciting things that have happened over the years with Emporia Public Schools. My wife Amy works for the district as a secretary, and both of my daughters have worked for the district. So Emporia Public Schools is a great place to work, as my family can attest.
Awesome.
As far as roles in human resources, we work very closely with our business department in a lot of different facets. Some of my roles are really to work closely with the administrators when it comes to recruiting and hiring our certified staff, which includes our teaching and administrative staff. We also work closely with our directors and principals in hiring classified staff. Some other roles that I have are safety and security for the district. We work with our substitutes and much, much, much more. So that's just a little bit about me and my role in human resources.
Awesome. And I would say that a great perspective that you bring is that you've had the opportunity to work in different levels as a principal as well. So you might even talk about some of the schools that you were a principal for.
Absolutely. I've had the privilege of working in a variety of roles. I've worked from everything from preschool up to the high school level. I started out teaching at Logan Avenue and taught 3rd and 4th grade there. I left there and became the principal at Lowther North before it closed, and then went back to Logan Avenue Elementary and was a principal there for several years. After that role, I moved to the high school for a couple of years as an assistant principal. I worked with our career and tech ed program, AVID, and a whole bunch of other things there at the high school. Following that, I was principal at Riverside for 8 years. I had a great bunch of students and staff down there, as do all of our schools. And then again, worked in teaching and learning here for a year and back in human resources for my second year now.
So give you some great perspective when you're looking for hiring candidates and just what the different schools need.
Yes, because there are a variety of things at the variety of levels, lots of different licensure questions, different curriculum kinds of things. So I've been very privileged to have that look at what it takes to run our district.
Awesome. Well, we're appreciative of that as well. Talking about hiring, so hiring all the time, but generally, just really picking things up as school gets ready to start. So talk a little bit about what types of jobs are available within the district.
I'll start first with some of our open positions. We typically have several of these during the summertime as we gear up for the school year. Some of those primary ones are in the food service area, which includes cooks, dishwashers, servers. We have a variety of positions within the food service department. Transportation, we're always looking for drivers or others that can assist students on some of our other buses. So those are two key areas that we really look to fill here in the summer. I know principals are very busy filling some of their paraprofessional positions, which includes work with some of our special education students. We seem to also have some teacher aide positions available each year that help out in a variety of ways. They'll work with whole classes, they'll work with small classes, individuals, but they really provide the teachers a great deal of assistance. So those are some of the ones that we typically see in the summer. Some others that we currently have open, we do have a couple of special education coordinators positions available within the Flint Hills Special Education Cooperative. Our district is the host district for the Flint Hills Special Education Co-op, and it serves several districts and counties around us with their special education needs. We do have some teaching positions open in some specialty areas, special education specifically, but we also have some science positions at the middle school and high school that we're still trying to find some qualified candidates for. Those are some positions too that if there are some career changers out there that have a degree in an associated area, there is the opportunity to go through a university such as Emporia State to work on a restricted type of license that could fill that science teaching role immediately. So it's just something to consider there in those areas. We also have a maintenance, a heating and air specialist position available that would help service our units in some of our school buildings. We have a couple of custodian positions available. I mentioned aides and paras. Our business director position is available as well. I think we have a technology position, and then again some other positions within our cooperative. Whenever I go talk to high school and college students, I don't think they're fully aware of a lot of the positions that really it takes to run a school district our size. Obviously we have administrative positions that are key in making our schools run, but there's everything from librarians to nurses to administrative assistants. I mentioned the food service and the variety of positions there. Within our maintenance department, we have just general mechanical kinds of things, plumbing, electrical. There's a variety of things there that folks could help with if they have that background. Our community relations office is key in communicating with the media and the community. Our family resource office is certainly key this time of year with enrollment. Do have to put a quick plug in for enrollment. Next week it starts on the 17th and it's out at the Flint Hills Learning Center. So if you need some assistance in enrolling your children, that's the place to be. Within our business office, we have payroll positions, purchasing, benefits, accounts and receivable and payable. We have coaching positions available. So that's just kind of the tip of the iceberg when it comes to jobs that are available within our schools.
Well, as you mentioned, there's a lot going on. In fact, mowing is happening right outside our outside our window. And then I think sometimes people think that school begins in August and then we finish in May and then we just kind of shut down. But we have a lot of things that are happening over the summer, hiring. And then also you mentioned food service. So just to highlight our food service people, they're serving 1,080 meals per day. So that's quite incredible. And so that takes a lot of work and a lot of effort. So you talked about the types of jobs that are available. Are there any specific jobs? And maybe talk a little bit more about licensure when we're thinking about who might have a bachelor's degree in a different area. What would they do if they were interested in teaching?
Sure. So I'll just start with that question. There are a variety of license routes. Even if your primary degree isn't in teaching, many universities are offering many different pathways to help folks come into the field. We know there is a teacher shortage right now. A few years ago, we wouldn't have said that. Teachers were fighting to get into our schools in our district. But it is something that we're seeing. And I think every job field really is experiencing some difficulty in hiring. So there are many options as far as licensure goes, even as simple as getting a substitute license or an emergency substitute license. That would at least get you started in the door. If there are teachers out there that have an interest in special education, we're always looking for special education teachers, and there are pathways and routes that way that we can provide some assistance with in getting you that next degree that would help in the area of special education. So there are a variety of things. There's a LEAP program that I believe Emporia State is trying to get started. K-State has a LEAP program as well, which allows people to get their elementary teaching degree. But again, there are a variety of things. If you have any questions about that specific kind of thing, you can certainly contact our office. We communicate very regularly with the State Department and their licensure office just about exactly what it takes to move into some of these teaching roles. So we would very much welcome you to explore that if it's something that you're thinking about as far as a career change. As far as any other specific jobs that we would like to highlight, I would like to speak just a little bit more to our Director of Business. We are looking to review applications and try to get that that position's hired very soon, but that position it is instrumental in keeping our district running from a budgetary and financial standpoint. They really deal with a lot of things within the business office as far as training folks, but also knowing our Skyward database and how it runs, and everything from payroll to purchasing and getting bills paid on time. So that's a key role that we're looking to fill here in the coming weeks, and we could get them started pretty quickly. Again, I mentioned that heating and air specialist with maintenance, the science teaching positions, the coordinator positions within the special ed co-op. And then we're also looking to fill some academic interventionist positions, whether you're a retired teacher or someone that wants to come and work part-time. If you have that degree, we're looking to get some of those folks into our elementary schools to really fill some of those interventionist positions to help provide some specific instruction for small groups of students that we need in those schools. So those are some of the key ones that I'd like to highlight. Dr. Harder, are there any others you'd like to visit about?
Oh, I think those are good.
Okay.
I think, having that job fair on July 17th and by the Learning Center as enrollment's taking place, it's at the Flint Hills Mall. So that's really important. Talking about, benefits. So we have retirement. So CAPERS is huge. Start contributing to the CAPERS plan for retirement. What would be the starting base salary for a new teacher?
Starting base salary for a new teacher, we're happy to add a $1,000 increase to our base for the coming year. That increases that base to $43,000. Obviously, if you're bringing experience or any additional college hours or degrees, that could qualify you for a little bit more on that base. But glad to have that base at $43,000, which keeps us pretty competitive with surrounding areas, but then also some other districts our size. I can certainly speak to classified as well, because that's been a huge push for us in the last couple of years, getting those wages up. Last school year, we were able to get all of our classified positions starting at $15 an hour. If you bring any type of education as far as a certificate or a degree, that would qualify you for some additional monies there. We also offer a stipend for those folks that speak Spanish. There are varying levels of that based upon your proficiency on those Spanish exams. So we're excited about that. We just completed phase 2 of that classified salary schedule. There were some folks last year that weren't significantly affected, and we wanted to make sure that those folks that have been with us were compensated fairly. So we put a lot of work and energy into this phase 2, which hopefully helps provide a boost for those folks that have been with us for some time in helping their salary increase as well.
Well, I'll just add too that additional benefits is that we've been working really hard getting childcare classrooms going. So if we have employees that have small children before the school age, that we're providing that. That at a cost. We're not able to provide that free of charge, but we do have that available because childcare is such a huge need. And then another benefit people don't think about is a schedule for teachers and classified staff. So if you have small children or if you have school-age children, you're able to have the same days off generally, other than some in-service and some work days. So maybe talk a little, and summertime as well.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. And that's a huge benefit. And we have a lot of folks that work for us that want to have that similar schedule as their children and have that time off in the summertime or, Christmas breaks or those key times when their children aren't in school. We do offer health and dental and vision insurance as well as far as benefits. Another thing we do that we bring in money for the numbers of English as a second language students that we service. And then with some of that money that we bring in, we're able to pay for additional college credits for teachers towards their ESL endorsement, which is a huge financial benefit. There's some additional stipends that come with that as well. But I think probably the biggest benefit, and I know it is for the school district, is that every day you get to come to work and you get to make a difference for students, and you get to make a difference for the staff members that you work with. So to me, that's that's the business we're in, is educating our kids and knowing that you're coming to work today to make a difference. It's just a great feeling to have.
Well, we just had an administrator retreat, and so talking about how do we really, in general, how do we make it fun to come to work? And so really taking charge of that and having fun with the students that we serve and we work with every day, and our colleagues as well, and with parents in the community.
It really does take a village and a lot of people to make the day-to-day operations work.
Well, thinking about potential candidates, if they're interested, where would they go for listing available jobs, and then how do they apply?
The primary place place to go for a job listings is on our website. If you go to USD253.org, there's an employment link at the top, and it takes you to another page. There are two buttons there. One of them is just one document that lists all of our available job openings, just at a glance. The other button takes you directly to our application page where all of those jobs are listed. You can find out a little bit more of the specifics. The job descriptions are listed there, most of the starting wages, and then you can click on that to apply. So that's the primary place that folks would go to find out a little bit more about the jobs that we have available. We also list all of our certified teaching jobs on Educate Kansas. It's something we go to frequently and reach out to folks, but we use some other online portals as well to list some of those jobs. I know ESU lists some jobs for us occasionally, so there's a variety of outlets that people can go to find what jobs are available within the district. I think that's most of the places where we list, but we've used Main Street before. We've used Indeed here recently with some key jobs that we're looking to fill. So, but if you're looking for a whole list, I would go to our USD 253 website and click on employment, and there you'll find it.
Well, as we like to remind people, they are our best recruiters, whether they're teachers, whether they're current staff, if we have parents helping us recruit. So we have positions that are available and serving our community's children. So we definitely do everything we can to help recruit. So anything else? We have some magnets that are going out on some of our vans. We're not able to put them on buses, but what are some other ways that we're recruiting?
I think one of the key ways that we do as far as teaching positions is we host a lot of student teachers from Emporia State. They've been a great partner over the years, very proud of the partnership we've had with them and the work that we've done to get teachers into the field. So not just Emporia State, but we've had students from other colleges come in to do their student teaching pieces with us. So we feel like we've got a great working relationship with our colleges and universities here, especially within the state of Kansas. We work very closely with the tech college as well for some of our other specialty areas. We've reached out to some other regional tech colleges when we're looking to fill some positions like the HVAC position or someone with an electrical type of background. So I feel like we have a great working relationship with all of those folks as well. Just yesterday, I was working with the State Department on licensure for a potential school counselor, and they were able to hook me up with a different program that I wasn't aware of that I think will allow us to get a school counselor hired. So there are a variety of different things. We go to past lists of folks that have worked for us or people that we've looked at career fairs. We go to a number of career fairs throughout the school year, primarily in the fall and spring, but we'll go back to those lists and do some cold calls with some folks. We'll email those in mass. So there are a variety of ways. As Dr. Harder mentioned, you mentioned our folks, our people within our school district are our best recruiters. It's that positive message that they're putting out there to folks about the possibilities that exist. And, if they know of an opening within their building, they may know friends who are looking for a job or wanting a change, and they are truly our best recruiters. So they can make referrals. We have a place on our application that people can list if somebody has referred them to a specific job. And a lot of it is just word of mouth. Podcasts like this, folks going out in the community, being connected with the chamber and Emporia Main Street, and just the various groups within the community of Emporia. So there are a number of ways that we try to get our name out there, and that we're trying to reach out to people and let them know about the great things going on with Emporia Public Schools.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Jared Giffin, for joining me today. Is there anything else that you would like to add before we close?
I think just really, again, highlighting the job fair next Monday, July 17th at the mall. That's from 1:30 to 4:30, and we'll be out in the area between the Learning Center and the movie theater. We'll have all of our departments represented there. Principals from various levels will be there as well to talk about the openings that they have. We'll have some computers available as well if somebody wants to fill out their application right there on the spot. So I just want to make sure that folks know about that. Again, we'll be there from 1:30 to 4:30 on Monday, July 17th.
Thank you. Well, thank you, Mr. Jared Giffin, Director of Human Resources. Appreciate you joining today.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
As we conclude this episode, we would like to remind our listeners that below the podcast link, there is a link to an electronic form for anyone to provide feedback or ideas about the podcast you may have just listened to, or to share ideas about future podcasts. We end on our Emporia Public Schools mission statement. We engage, we empower, we inspire. Thank you for listening and watch for upcoming episodes.